Hello, welcome to our webinar regarding the Paycheck Protection Program SBA loan. My name is Diane Pilak, and I am the president and founder of FlexChecks. I started the business 22 years ago in 1997, and in that time, we have had some changes to payroll, but nothing like the unprecedented times of change that we are experiencing now. With the passage of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, providing emergency FMLA and emergency paid sick leave, as well as the many payroll changes in the CARES Act, we plan on creating more webinars to explain these important changes to our valued clients. This presentation, however, will focus on just one small piece of the recently enacted $2 trillion CARES Act, the Paycheck Protection Program, which I highly encourage all small business owners affected by the COVID-19 crisis to apply for. The CARES Act, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, allocated $349 billion to help small businesses keep workers employed amid the pandemic and economic downturn. Known as the Paycheck Protection Program, the initiative provides 100% federally guaranteed loans to small businesses, nonprofits, veterans organizations, and tribal businesses with fewer than 500 employees. In addition, sole proprietors, anyone who files a Schedule C, and independent contractors, 1099s, generally workers who receive 1099s, and gig workers, those are the people who work on call for companies like Uber or Lyft. They are all eligible to apply for these loans. To qualify, the business must be operational as of February 15, 2020, and affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. These loans are 100% federally guaranteed. Payments are deferred for 6 months, meaning if you receive a disbursement on April 15th, 2020, your first payment is not due until October 15th, 2020. They carry a low fixed interest rate and have a term of 2 years. And the best part of all, they can be forgiven, provided you use the funds as intended by Congress. The loans basically provide 2 months of payroll costs to help borrowers retain employees at their current base pay and keep the economy going. If the borrower retains all of its employees at their current rate, the entire loan may be forgiven. To calculate the maximum loan amount you can borrow, you will take 2 times your average monthly payroll cost plus 25%. The maximum loan amount is $10 million. Payroll costs include gross pay for salaries, wages, commissions, and other compensation. One thing to note is that payroll costs for any individual cannot exceed $100,000 on an annualized basis. That means if you have an employee with an annual salary of $150,000, only the first $100,000 can be used to calculate your loan amount. You can also use vacation, PTO, sick leave, tips, and severance pay. You also calculate any state or local taxes that are imposed on gross earnings, like state unemployment taxes. And then you will add group health care premiums and retirement expenses like 401k match. The Treasury stated yesterday, on March 31st, 2020, that most applicants would calculate payroll costs based on calendar year 2019 data. That would mean you would take a 2019 payroll summary, review for any individual earning more than $100,000, keeping the cap in mind, then adding the payroll taxes, health benefits, and retirement expenses. Lenders are also asking for payroll tax returns, the 2019 Form 940. 2019 941s, and some are asking for quarterly unemployment returns. There are provisions for seasonal businesses. Rather than using the year 2019, they can use either payroll costs for a 12-week period beginning February 15, or they can use March 1, 2019 through June 30, 2019. If you have a new business that doesn't have 2019 payroll expenses, you can use average monthly payroll from January 1, 2020 through February 29, 2020. Here, you will see a calculation example. You'd run a payroll summary for all of 2019 and indicate each person's gross earnings. Review for anyone who earned more than $100,000 and cap them at $100,000. And then add the state unemployment group, health, and 401k match, giving a total payroll cost. You then divide the total by 12 to arrive at the monthly average, multiply by 2, so you have 2 months of average monthly salary, then add 25% to arrive at the maximum loan amount. The best part of the Paycheck Protection Program is that loans may be forgiven as long as loan proceeds are used to cover payroll costs and expenses over the 8-week period after the loan is dispersed. Guidelines issued yesterday indicate that loan forgiveness also is available if not more than 25% of the forgiven amount was used for non-payroll expenses, like mortgage interest, rent, or other expenses. And employee compensation levels must be maintained. That means you will want to maintain not only employee compensation levels, but the number of employees that you have employed, full-time equivalents, in that 8-week period following disbursement of the loan. Again, the whole idea is to keep employees employed during this crisis. So how do you apply? The loans will be processed by any SBA 7A lender. We suggest you check with your own bank first. If they aren't an approved lender, there are many national and local banks and credit unions that are. In addition, the Small Business Administration website lists the 100 most active SBA lenders. The loans that will be issued are not like regular loans guaranteed by the Small Business Administration. There is no credit testing. The only requirement is that you were in business as of February 15th, 2020. You also don't need to have been denied by a traditional lender. There are no personal guarantees or collateral that's required. There are no fees to apply or fees to process or close your loan. There are a couple of caveats. Any applicant presently involved in any bankruptcy will be rejected. You must disclose any recent SBA disaster loans. Although no new guidance on the use of both the emergency disaster loan and the Paycheck Protection Program loan together, we do anticipate further guidance on this section. And all 20% plus owners must be U.S. citizens or have lawful permanent resident status within the United States. When you apply, there are certain representations and certifications required on the application. Most of the representations are standard, but you will represent that the SBA loan proceeds will be used only for business-related purposes, and that to the extent feasible, you will purchase only American-made equipment and products. Certifications, which will need to be made by all 20% or more owners, include the following. The funds will be used to retain workers and maintain payroll. Documentation verifying the number of full-time equivalent employees on payroll, as well as the dollar amounts of payroll costs for the 8-week period following disbursement of the loan will be provided to the lender. And you will certify that loan forgiveness will be provided for the sum of documented payroll costs plus not more than 25% for those non-payroll costs. The loan terms are standard for all businesses. Loans are for 2 years. They're at a 0.50% fixed rate. Unbelievable. There are no principal, interest, or fee payments for 6 months. There are no prepayment penalties. The only variable from business to business will be the size of the loan, again, which will be capped at $10 million. Lenders can start taking applications tomorrow, Friday, April 3rd, 2020, for small businesses and sole proprietors. With the request that we received the last few days for reports, we are expecting lenders to be flooded with applications. Independent contractors and self-employed individuals can apply beginning April 10th, 2020. The bottom line is that small businesses need to act now. Although the CARES Act indicated applications would be accepted until June 30, 2020, there is a cap of $349 billion, so funds are limited. Most lenders are expecting funds to run out quickly. It's also unclear how it might affect independent contractors and self-employed who can't apply until next week if the funds run out within this first week. So, FlexChecks is here to help with reports and returns needed for applying. We've hired additional staff to assist clients in gathering documentation. Contact your client service representative or email processing@flexchecks.com if you need some help gathering information. If you have a question that was not addressed in this presentation, please feel free to email me directly at dianepelak@flexchecks.com. Finally, all FlexChecks clients will be sent this file presentation via email, along with supporting documentation that includes the recently released information sheet from the Treasury, as well as a sample application. We'll also be sending some links that can help you navigate through the application process. If you are not one of our clients and would like to receive this information, please email processing@flexchecks.com. We'll be happy to send it to you. I hope the information presented provides a good overview of the Paycheck Protection Program and that you are able to apply as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and please stay safe and healthy. Thank you.